Hi everyone, it's Killshot from 99 Gaming, and this is The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 1, Rick's Dream Tribute. So for the last few days, I've gotten a lot of questions and a lot of comments whether or not that dream sequence meant anything. And I have to tell you, it happened so fast, I had to go back and show each individual frame. I'm going to show those today, and we will discuss it. It was Sigmund Freud that actually said all men are great in their dreams, but remember, it was Negan that said, I want you to think about what could have happened, think about what happened, and think about what can still happen. So we'll go through each one of these characters, and I'll tell you a little bit of what the most impressionistic part of each character was to me. With Rosita, I think it was the bonding at the end with Sasha, where she actually allowed Sasha to take Abe up to Hilltop. That was a tough decision, but you could see she still has a lot of feelings. Leave your comments below. Let me know what was most noticeable to you about Rosita. Karl actually impressed me quite a bit. His toughness and his maturity, did not cry through the scene, and even at the very end when he thought he was going to lose his arm, he says, Dad, just do it. So a brand new respect for Karl. Still not up there with my favorite characters. I know there are a lot of Karl fans out there, but leave your comments. Let me know what you thought about Karl and a little bit of Rick's flashbacks and the dream sequence with him as well too. Got to be honest, I think Karl's toughness is starting to really scare Negan a little bit. So let's talk about Michonne. Michonne was actually, she was emotionless through much of this, and the one thing that really stood out to me was at the very end when Karl was about to lose his arm. She actually spoke up and said, we get it, and that's where Negan kind of bounced back and says, you get it, but I don't think Rick gets it. Very, very memorable, and also the fact that she was not going to let Maggie leave by herself, that protective instinct. Daryl in true form actually charged Negan. This was a turning point of, I think, the entire storyline. Was maybe they were content to just kill one person, and then when Daryl charged, we know what happened next. Daryl's toughness gets him in trouble, but Daryl was broken down too. I think you guys saw when they zoomed in on Daryl, the emotional impact and the guilt and the blame. Maggie. Touching love scene between Maggie and Glen. A lot of her memories are family related. There were a couple interesting pictures. Maggie and Karl I thought was one interesting dynamic, and then there was also one between Maggie and Daryl. And I know a lot of people think Maggie's going to blame Daryl, but she actually blamed herself at the end. Remember, she said, the reason you are all here is because of me. So let me know what you guys thought about that. I thought actor Ross Marquand just did an incredible job. The emotion, all the actors really nailed it, but to watch him kind of look back and forth, he really, really looked terrified. And I thought he was kind of that soothing voice at the very end when Maggie was going to get Glen, where he walked over and said, let me help you. And that's when I felt the transition, a little bit of the rebuilding. That was the moment for me where I think they're slowly going to gradually get it back. Maybe not next week, but possibly the week after. Now to Eugene. Eugene, actually, he lost it. You could see the fear in his face, but even at the very end when everybody was getting up, even before he helped with Abraham, he had both hands covered over his eyes. He just could not bear to look. He couldn't see anymore. Eugene hit absolute rock bottom. He did get up and ultimately help Sasha and Rosita. Sasha, the scene that was the most impactful for me was the look on her face when Abraham gave her the peace sign. You could just see at that moment all the emotion, the tears were rolling down. So Sasha's memories, obviously, there you can see in the beginning with a little bit of Tyrese and also a little bit of Bob, but ultimately her heart was starting to transition over to Abraham. Be interesting to see if she is pregnant. Abraham, no doubt about it, Suck My Nuts will go down in history. I've seen so many hashtags with it already. Abraham, just the embodiment of toughness on the show. He died for the team. I know there's some debate going back in that. The fact that Abraham did not fight back, to me, shows me that he got it. Abraham could have got up and did what Daryl did. He would have died, but he was willing to die and just make his last comment. And Negan might have been content to let it go. I know we're debating back and forth with Daryl, whether Daryl's responsible. And last, and definitely probably the most moving of all, was Glen. So many flashbacks, so many memories of Glen. Definitely family-oriented. Even on Talking Dead, they said Stephen Ewan always has a smile on his face, and I think he just embodied that character. And his final words there when he's talking to Maggie, especially when he says, I will find you, just could it be foreshadowing? Is it just the ultimate exclamation point to their love story? I know a lot of people, when we were doing the live stream after that, that was the part that just absolutely put them in tears, and they watched it again. It was a gruesome scene, but even through, you know, he was stuttering, he couldn't speak, his hand, even the twitching scene of his hand, I just can't get that stuff out of my mind. But, you know, his last words just to, you know, kind of put the exclamation point on their love and their relationship. So I wanted to go through and break these down for all of you. These are the actual black and white images in case you missed them. Thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. We will talk about the Negan kill effect very soon. Peace.